Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. And as I can tell by three gleaming faces, that means some good Spurs news. That means some top tier one, quality, accurate, fun, amazing. I've run out of ideas. What an awful dictionary I have. But anyway, let's hand over to some guys that have a better dictionary than me. It's Andre, first of all. Andre, how buzzing are you with Yves Bissouma? All but agreed at Tottenham Hotspur, £25 million. That is like daylight robbery.
Well, I personally think that's worth pound for pound. That's got to be one of the best signings we've had in a while. I cannot believe that this is going on. It's amazing stuff to see. Although, I don't think we're surprised that the window is just open and we're already making moves.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, exactly that. And like you said, pound for pound, it's like boxing, is it? Pound for pound, best fighter, pound for pound, best centre mid, best signing in the window so far. And maybe in the last few years, you think of Ndombele costing us, 50, 60 million. And we've got this guy for a third of the price. It's absolutely crazy. But let's talk to the other guy that's like grinning like a Cheshire cat over here, Jack Burford. Jack, you are absolutely buzzing. I got notification from you from 9 o'clock this morning saying you found a source that said it, and then we waited for our tier one about an hour later, and then bang, it was getting released everywhere, and obviously we reported on it.
To say I'm excited about this signing would be a major understatement. I've been 9 a.m. this morning and I saw the news, and to say I had the biggest grin on my face would be an understatement again. I'm so excited. This would be one of the main players. I think I've said in a Spurs-related video before, I seriously think we need to strengthen massively in the midfield. And Bissouma was one of the if you've watched our latest video, you'd know Bissouma was one of the guys who would be in my top 5 biggest signings. And it looks like we're going to get him through the door. I think he's going to be perfect for Conte's system, and I can't wait to see how we progress throughout this window.
Absolutely, yeah. Both me and both yourself and I said there would be an unbelievable signing with 150 million. Not only did we think that we could sign him, but I was saying 50 million. You were saying 40 million, and we've got him for 25. Jack, I mean, that's just incredible. But we can talk about the details of all the deal. I'm sure Andre can keep us up to date with that, and Jack. And of course, it's time to welcome on in the Spurs Relatables. You've been queuing in your numbers for this one. The numbers are only getting bigger and better as we progress as a channel, guys. We do appreciate it. There's 25 of you already on this video. Smash a thumbs up before the rest join, I guess you could say, and it would be greatly appreciated. But Ayanami's in here as always. I hope your internet's fixed. I hope the move's going well, mate. He's saying COYS. What a guy. Tempest, always good to see you, mate. He says big up today. Has been a good one. Arsenal fans going nuts. It's just that circulation of that Bissouma video when he's laughing at the Emirates when Brighton beat Arsenal. It's just dream world. And Arsenal fans were so confident they were getting Bissouma. They were going, oh yeah, look, Bissouma's come in, he's put on his Instagram story a fan account of Arsenal. He reposted it. And I was just saying to people, like, just because he's reposted a highlight that an Arsenal fan had posted, doesn't mean he's joined the club, Arsenal fans. It just makes it so much sweeter. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, you honestly cannot make it up. And I'm saying I have better tactics than Southgate. I don't even want to talk about England. Last time I checked, they're 1-0 down there. An absolute joke of a team right now. Exiati, he's loving it. Big up, mate. Good to see you, Simply Ace. Big up. Really appreciate all the comments you're putting on our videos, Simply Ace. We've had the best value so far, especially considering the value. Yeah, Born to Lose. Always good to see you, mate. He's saying even all Bissouma and the Gooners are crying about it. Lovely. We've got Right Heart Lane. Always good to see you, mate. Yeah, I know he was at school and his mate showed him the news. Couldn't believe it, especially with the price. Same happened to me. Got a notification period too. I'm so surprised. Sean is saying, hi guys, hope you're all well. Sean, always good to see you. And of course, the RTL Football Podcast, good to see you. John O, or whoever that is, always a pleasure to see you. And guys, if you want another podcast to check out these guys. Very, very good channel. We're talking all things football. But let's get into things, guys. It's 30 of you. Really appreciate the support. It makes us very happy the more people watching. But we just love interacting with you guys. So smash a comment, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. And as Irish Hotspur says, what's the saying, Jack?
Yeah, I think he says you wouldn't go in someone's house with dirty shoes. So wipe your feet on the carpet by smashing that like button and subscribe if you're new.
Absolutely love it. Right, let's talk less about subscribing and liking, although it's very important, and talk all about the Bissouma news. Over to our news expert, Andre.
Perfect. So, as has been told, and it's everywhere right now, it looks like we're set to sign him for 25 million, add-ons possibly going up to 30. And it's the right time. His contract ends next season. He's 25 years old, just about the same age that Højbjerg was when he made his move. Usually footballers, they hit their prime right around now, 25, 26. The average football life for a player goes up to maybe in the mid 30s. So this is the perfect time. He's right-footed, scored 2 goals, 2 assists, but 89 pass completion. That's his percentage from last season, and 83 tackle success. This is a guy who's going to fit in like a puzzle piece to our team.
Absolutely. 89% pass accuracy. I mean, wow. That's pretty good. 9 out of 10 of his passes find someone's feet. And listen, I maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm getting overexcited. But this guy, I said it in the other video before we even technically properly linked with him, because this is dropped out of thin air, hasn't it? Let's be honest. This hasn't been like a Jed Spence where we're expecting it to happen. Bissouma's hardly been talked about, other than Alistair Gold said he's on Spurs' wish list. And bang, we've kept quiet about it. We've avoided, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, swooping in, because we've been the silent ones. We've been doing it under everyone else's noses. Well, not under everyone else's noses. Behind everyone else's back, should I say. No one knew about this. And wow, I'm so happy about this one. Like, I'm even more happy about this one than Perisic. This is brilliant. And 89% pass accuracy. I was about to say before I went off on one, because everything's flying in my head because I'm so excited about this one. But he reminds me a bit like a Moussa Dembele. And the reason why, he's box to box, he can get forward, he can score a goal, and he's a unit, and he's silky on the ball. He's got great dribbling, great feet. Maybe not quite as good as prime Moussa Dembele, because obviously that guy was ridiculous, as all Spurs fans know.
No one was. Moussa Dembele was untouchable, but he's probably the closest thing to it.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Like, he's probably the closest thing to it in the Premier League in terms of like for like. If I'm being honest, maybe you guys in the chat will disagree, but let me know if that's a bit of an over exaggeration. But Jack, what do you think about this one?
Yves Bissouma, where can I start? I think this guy, a lot of people are saying about improving the squad, which I 100% agree. I keep saying, to compete with the biggest teams in the Premier League, you need a squad capable. You need 2 players in every position. And I think Yves Bissouma is someone who's perfect for the squad. But not only this, I think he walks into our starting 11. I think he complements Bentancur. I think he complements Skip. Skip can help learn off Bissouma. His distribution in the midfield is fantastic. He doesn't just pass sideways. He finds breaking line passes where he goes straight through to the forwards. He's comfortable on the ball. He makes it look like there's plenty of time. And his long-range shooting should not be underestimated. This guy is someone who's going to walk straight into the starting 11. And I think this is only the beginning of the window. I think maybe I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is all about Bissouma, but we could complement him with someone like Eriksen. We could complement him with someone like Bentancur, who's silky on the ball. I really think we're going to build up a formidable partnership in the midfield for Spurs next year. And I think this is the start of something big.
Absolutely. No, I think we're building a squad. That's the big thing. We are building a squad that's not just the starting 11, but also the people sitting on the bench are just as lethal. And I think that this guy, he has a capability of just just passing that ball forward. And like we saw in that Spurs game, unlike the players at Brighton who can't finish their dinner, we have Son, we have Kulusevski, and we have Kane, who will destroy the team when they get that pass from him.
100%. And I think quickly to focus more on Bissouma, I think when we played in the FA Cup, and I think we won 3-1. Bissouma, he was unbelievable. They created plenty of chances, and I think James was talking about it. And Bissouma, he was coming through everything. I think he got a goal as well. And he honestly run the midfield every time. The reason they've got so much possession is because he breaks up play so well, but he's also ball retention is brilliant. I am so excited talking about him. I don't know if you can tell, but seriously, I think it's going to be one of the signings of the window. I think for that price, 25 million, potentially rising to 30, that is an absolute steal. You look at, we bought Ryan Sessegnon, good player. I'm sure he's going to improve, but he wasn't ready-made. Bissouma is a ready-made player who can walk into our starting 11, can compete with Liverpool, Man City's, Chelsea's midfield. We've got a serious player in our hands, and just hope the deal 100% goes through, because he's not holding a Spurs shirt yet, but all the credible tier 1 sources are saying it's going to happen. So, well, I've just got to keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly that, Jack. I know, without killing the mood, because obviously, like you said, you're buzzing and you're so excited and everything else. I think it's worth mentioning. Of course, we mentioned it in our video that we put out the other day that everyone seemed to enjoy about picking 150 million transfer budget. But it has to be said, of course, about these charges. They haven't gone away just yet. You know, he hasn't been found guilty of these allegations. But, you know, this off-the-field stuff, I would like it to be cleared up, because it's always going to hang over him. It's always going to hang over our club now. And of course, Brighton, maybe. Do you think that has something to do with it? I mean, Sean said, "What about his charges, lads? Would be worried." I mean,
to be completely honest, I think Spurs at modern day, we're quite a smart club. I'd like to think that. I think we look into this stuff, and I feel like
bit of due diligence before signing him. Maybe.
Yes, I'd like to think we're smarter than that. I think we would be looking into this a lot, and I think if there was any chance that he could be charged, I don't think we'd pursue with this deal. I think it would have come out sooner than this. But I really hope he hasn't done this, because we don't want a player like that at our club if it's true. But from a quality point of view, it is a fantastic addition to the squad.
100%. I mean, I would like to. You can't really sign a player and then go, yeah, by the way, you know, he's not guilty. There's still going to be that hanging over him until he's gone to, you know, a full court hearing or whatever it is. I believe
I read that it's dropped for now, but it's not. I think they've dropped it for now, but it's something they're going to look at. It's not hanging above him now, but it's always going to be there, isn't it? If there's evidence.
Yeah, but Jack, of course, we're quite surprised about the price of how, you know, little Brighton are selling for 25 million plus add-ons. I mean, to me, that's so cheap. So, do you guys think that potentially Brighton are going, well, we've got this guy out of the way now, because though he's an absolute talent, he's an absolute baller, and he's probably their best player, they don't want that hanging over the club? Or do you think, you know, we've just done very, very good business?
No,
what do you think?
I'm sure Andre's got a lot to say, and I don't want to talk too much, but just to finish on that, I think it's not that. I think he's pushing to leave. This is my opinion. I think he's a player who believes in himself and wants to play in the biggest competitions.
Champions
and I
League.
feel like, exactly, Champions League pool should not be underestimated. And I think because he has a year left on his contract, he's telling the owners, he's telling Potter, I don't want to play anymore. I want to play in the biggest competitions. And if you've got a player that doesn't want to be there and that has the potential to a disruptive dressing room, we saw what happened with Eriksen when he didn't get his way, being a good guy who gave his all, but then as soon as he didn't get his move, he wasn't being his best. And I think you can see that. Maybe Bissouma was a player that was willing to take that extra step. So I think Brighton were like, right, you've given us a fantastic year. There might have been some deal with a Champions League club like Tottenham coming in, and now it's time for a move. And I'm hoping that it's a brilliant deal for all parties.
100%. I mean, just a very quick one without moving the subject. Leo, thanks for joining, mate. As always, he said, not watching England, lads. Honestly, Leo, I'm not watching that, because it's just, I'll probably watch the second half, right? But oh my goodness, they're 1-0 down against Hungary, I think. Unless the scores change, please tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, about that. Leighton Evelyn saying, this deal ain't done yet. Leighton, welcome on in. This deal ain't done. It isn't done. Bissouma is set to join Spurs. It has been agreed. The fee has been agreed. The terms have been agreed. He is waiting for a medical, which will happen, I believe, on Thursday. So I would have titled the video, if you think it's clickbait, it's not, because I would have made the title, Bissouma has joined Tottenham. It's Bissouma set to join Spurs. So, I mean, the beautiful thumbnail from our editor is great, but it is worth clearing up later, and it isn't 100% over the line.
We also what happened with Willian going to Chelsea after leaving his medical. So being a Tottenham fan has been frustrating.
That's why Neil said this. Yeah, Neil said this about, you know, the build up. I'm always skeptical. Utterly fantastic watching an England team playing with passion, drive, initiative, and attacking intent. The cricket is over and I'm cheering the football. Yeah. Bissouma baller, says Gareth. And Simply Ace is saying there's a pattern to our signings. These players are either out of contract or have a year left. Yeah, well, you know, Simply Ace is very clever business. James, it makes it sweeter that we swipe Bissouma from under the scum's noses. It's just absolutely brilliant, isn't it, Chris? Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure you have a little bit of a line to say about that. It was great seeing you on the Irish Hotspur again yesterday, mate. Keep those up. And Sean's saying it's been said that Richarlison for 34.7, we are winning the race. I think they throw in Winks in there.
I don't think it was them. I think Matt Law reported it. I think that's what you're talking about.
Okay, so one thing to clear up about Spurs Related and how we work, just very quickly without boring people and going off topic. We will only focus on the tiers we believe are tier 1, which means sources like Fabrizio Romano, sources like Alistair Gold, sources like David Ornstein at The Athletic. These are tier 1 sources. They're reliable sources. They usually get it right. There's other sources out there that are tier 2, tier 3 and below. We will only ever report the ones that we feel are the most accurate and we feel are true. And that is always how we're going to be. So there may be other Spurs pages that are saying Richarlison's done or Richarlison, we're going to win the race or whatever it may be. We will not say that. So if you guys, I can't remember who it was, I'm not saying he was accusing us of clickbait, but what I'm saying is we will only report what we genuinely believe is real for our sources. And Andre will be the main guy to maybe tell you a bit more about that and a bit more about the next thing maybe.
Yeah, well, exactly. Tier 1. So, I mean, the minute that we see one of our tier 1 sources that we like to look at say something, you will be the first one to hear about it. So, don't you guys worry about that.
Exactly that. A few more comments and maybe, I don't know if you guys have a few more insights on Bissouma. Tris was crying about the Arsenal fan TV. I heard Richarlison and Romero didn't like each other, which won't help the team. Yeah, that's true. It's probably Arsenal again since they bottled UCL in like the 18-19 season. And reports saying we are also in the running for Raphinha and Eriksen, which we're coming to in just a minute, aren't we? In just a bit. So stay tuned on that one. Any more about Bissouma, guys? I mean, I'd love to talk about him for an hour, but obviously I think we've covered everything. It's fair to say we're all absolutely buzzing.
I think maybe we can quickly talk about who do you think will complement Bissouma the best? Who do you think is going to be in the current midfielders we have?
It's a good question. I think he's going to work well with Bentancur.
Okay,
I think so.
But then do you drop Højbjerg? It's difficult. Or do you play a 3-man midfield and therefore you have to play 2 up front and then does Kulusevski get dropped? You can't drop Kulusevski, surely.
No way.
Well, here's the thing. I think that bringing in these players just causes the teams that we're going to face not know what to do because we have so many options. Look what you just said. We can play Bissouma and Bentancur, or we can play 3 in the midfield now. Yeah, we would maybe drop Kulusevski, but then when we make a change, we change the entire formation and it changes the game. So the fact that we are bringing in players that just completely change, it gives us all of these options. Yeah. It's amazing to see. We're going to be a very unpredictable team and not in the way that we were last season where we didn't know what was going to happen. I mean it in a good way.
No, I love it. I totally agree. I think unpredictability is a massive strength for Premier League sides these days because when you look at Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, you don't know sometimes who's going to be in their starting 11 because they have that much squad depth. And I think for Spurs to have the ability to change from 2 up front to 3 in the middle and even be able to play our normal formation with the 2 in the midfield, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think for me, it's all about the game. So when you're playing low block side, you might want to partner Bissouma with a Bentancur, someone who likes to get on the ball a bit more, find those groundbreaking passes. But then when you're playing Man City, Liverpool, these sides that you feel like you might be playing more counter-attacking football, you can partner him with Højbjerg, you can partner him with Skip. So I think it's fantastic. Like we say, we keep talking about squad depth, that we're going to have these options next season. And I'm really excited.
Absolutely love it, Jack. And quick couple of comments. Leighton saying, I don't think we should sign Eriksen. We'll get onto that later, and I'd love to hear what you think about Eriksen. But actually, Jack and Andre will know very well. I have this slight feeling about Eriksen too. I'm not 100% not to Eriksen, no to Eriksen, but you know, at the end when he didn't want to play for us and he did kind of throw his toys out the pram a little bit, it has to be said that always is in the back of my mind. I said that on that video, didn't I, Jack? So we'll get into that. Born to Lose saying you're absolutely right to focus on bona fide sources and rumours. Everyone's an in the know chancer these days. I mean, I prefer not to speak, you know what I mean? But it is true. It is true. We're building a squad and we're going to have a strong second team. Absolutely. Bobby K saying we signed another player. Hell must have frozen over. Or am I dreaming? Get in there. Oh yeah, big up lads and everyone in the chat. Big up Bobby K. Always good to see you, mate. Really good to see you. And Chris is saying we still need left centre back, which is up in the air.
Don't panic, Chris. Don't panic. What happened with this Bissouma deal? Out of nowhere, and he's one of our main targets. I'm sure Paratici and Conte will sort us out a very good left centre back. Do not panic.
Absolutely, Jack. And Alex is saying steak as always. Big up. Variety in important midfield. Plays like midfield, box-to-box, Bissouma, Bentancur, defensive, Højbjerg, Skip, creative, Eriksen. Different teams call for different players and different situations, I would say as well, Iron Army, on this one. Like, it depends how the game's going. It depends, you know, how if we're winning, if we're losing, what kind of team we're playing. Are we playing a low-block team? Are we playing a team like Man City, where we want to be more a counter-attacking outfit? There is all these considerations, and it's great to have a full ammunition at our disposal because we really lacked that last season, and we still squeezed top 4 out of those players and such a thin squad. I am so excited for this season. The amount of players we have to choose from is going to be brilliant. Bissouma and Bentancur both are very good technically and are very calm under pressure when bringing out the ball. Bissouma can be our box-to-box midfielder. I completely agree. We need a big squad with 5 subs. Yeah, the 5-sub rule, of course, coming back in after, you know, it got dropped after COVID and now it's back in, isn't it, next season, lads? So, you know, that's an important one as well. Alex saying Skip, Højbjerg, Bissouma might as well have a brick wall in that midfield. Wow. And you haven't even included Bentancur. It's just absolutely incredible, isn't it? Who's panicking? We have the Don Paratici in control, just saying we need that left centre back and right wing back. It's coming, Chris. I really do believe it's coming. Jed Spence is coming. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But let's move over to the next talking point, which is that guy I literally just mentioned, Jed Spence. Look at him wearing that England jersey, that England merch. Absolutely love it. He was out playing for England under 21s the other day. You guys might be able to tell me in the chat how well he did. You guys.
He scored an own goal in the first minute. But moving on.
No, he didn't. Did he actually?
Yeah, I think it might have been the first minute, but he definitely scored an own goal. But
oh no, that's a clip, isn't it? Let's face it, we're winning the quadruple, and I want better than Spence. Alex is not settling. Absolutely brilliant. Great news, and I'm very happy. Big up, mate. Thanks for joining. But over to Andre for this next part.
Perfect. So it's looking like that bid is being prepped, almost ready to go. And I mean, I guess this is why the Jed Spence bids were being prepped, but not actually being sent out. And that's because we were working undercover to get this Bissouma deal done. So we'll have to see. It's probably the next one we go for, to be quite honest.
Yep. Exactly that, and how close is this in terms of obviously tier 1 sources? You know, we've been talking about it's been very close for almost the last week now. Andre, what is the developments after over the last few days, or was it a case of we're waiting for him to get back from international duty?
Well, I believe that they're also waiting for him to get back from that. It's looking like there's a willingness to pay 10 million up front with some extra money to go through. I think that was Matt Law that's been saying that. But, you know, there is that expectation that the deal is going to get done. It's just that international duty has sort of slowed things down, at least from this English perspective. But, I mean, he checks off more boxes than just, oh, he's a good right wing back up and coming. He's a homegrown player. We need homegrown players, especially with some that might be heading out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Zach saying in here, big up Zach, always good to see you, mate. He's saying Jed Spence, Torres and Raphinha. Let's go. Chris is saying Jed Spence is a risk and we need to ready-made Prem right wing back, maybe Cucurella from Brighton. The only thing I'd say about that, Chris, is he's a left wing back. He's a left-footed player, but I do like Cucurella from Brighton, maybe as a left wing back option if Sergio Reguilon leaves, which we'll get onto in a bit as well. The chat is going mental, by the way. There's like 40 of you in here. Awesome. It's absolutely brilliant, guys. Really appreciate the support, honestly. Where's the Raphinha link and is it reliable? We're coming on to that. What's that?
I said I can't wait to talk about Raphinha. Don't worry, he's coming up shortly. So don't worry.
We are coming on to it. Okay, Spence, yes, as long as we get another experienced one. Yeah, that could be a point mark. Absolutely. We don't need bad attitudes in the locker room, says Leo. Spence and Richarlison could cause a problem. There's a lot of question marks over the attitude problems. Eamon saying I somewhat agree, but Spence in early and getting a good preseason with Conte is very, very good. Jack has literally been saying that for ages. Raphinha's going to Barca, lad, says Miles.
No,
I mean,
I don't think so. Just quickly, I think you could be totally right, but this is just how I feel. I honestly believe Barcelona have been linked to every single player. Like, I'm not joking. Every time I see Fabrizio Romano tweet, it's about Barcelona being interested in a free transfer. And I agree with Raphinha, but I do believe that. I think they have to sell to buy. They're still in a really bad financial situation. And I believe that if Tottenham really want Raphinha, I think there's a good chance we could bring him in. But we're coming on to that, so our opinions will move to that. But quickly, on Jed Spence, I think he's going to be a fantastic player, and I really do believe this deal is going to happen. Earlier reports saying that Spurs are willing to pay the money now. I do think, as you said, Andre, it's about him coming back, and then we can get this deal over the line and then move on. But a lot of people have been saying that they believe that they want someone else to complement him. And this is not a tier one source. This is a Jack Burford opinion. But I honestly believe the way we're going, I would not be surprised. This is an opinion, keen to stress this. But I seriously believe we might, if Zidane joins PSG, I could see us bidding a lot of money for Hakimi. Because I know some people might disagree, but I think Conte absolutely adores this player. I think Hakimi adores Conte, and I think because it's such a crucial position that we need to strengthen in, and Spence can learn of someone who's world class in that position. I believe there could be a transfer to be done there, because I've heard a lot of reports saying Zidane doesn't like Hakimi and he's slightly unhappy there. So if we brought in someone of that caliber to complement Spence, help him learn, it would be amazing. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. You tell me what you think, guys.
Yeah, no. Potentially you are getting ahead of yourself. But obviously, Hakimi would be incredible. It'd be a high price tag.
Also,
Guys,
Alison did say we're heavily interested in. That is part of the reason why I think there's a possibility.
Yeah, Hakimi is the dream signing. Zidane isn't at PSG. I think Jack's saying if Zidane does go there, because obviously
Pochettino is leaving. That's why I'm saying
is potentially leaving. Yeah, exactly. Right, what was I going to say? That was what I was going to say. As 2 or 3 people asked me, who would I rather have, Raphinha or Richarlison? I'll tell you what, we'll ask that question in about 5-10 minutes. I don't know why I looked at my wrist. I don't even have a watch on. 5 to 10 minutes. We'll ask that question to the chat, because I actually asked someone at work that today who they would prefer. I know there's slightly different players, maybe Raphinha more of a winger, but I don't think we'll get both. So it would be a great question for the chat, because I've seen that question 3 times in the chat already, and it's only 30 minutes into the video. Do you know what makes the Bissouma deal even sweeter? He's an Arsenal fan, apparently. Apparently he is. What about Papa Sarr? We've got incoming in next season. I reckon he might get loaned out again, but let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Alfie Thompson, I don't think I've seen you on the channel before. Welcome on in, my friend. There's a nice picture of your dog. Absolutely love it. Always like looking at the profile pictures. Spence with a full Conte pre-season will be ready for Prem next season. Exactly this. We do agree. We do agree here at SpursRelated. Another comment from Intefelo Lelo. I'm so sorry if I got your name wrong. I did try. Spurs, more will come. I truth my team. Absolutely love it, mate. Love the support from South Africa, like you just said earlier. Raphinha all day long, says Chris. Raphinha man's replacing Neymar from the Brazilian team. Yeah, a lot of Raphinha fans in here. But guys, let's not. Let's talk about Raphinha in just a bit. Let's wrap up about Jed Spence. Andre, maybe you want to put the close on this one.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens with him, whether he is the next signing. I think if we do bring him in, I'm not going to doubt Conte at all here. If he sees something in this player, then I'm just going to have to trust him, trust Conte. So far, he took out 4 players and brought in 2, and we got top 4. And we weren't even close to that. So by all means, if Jed Spence is the guy, let's see what happens.
Okay, great. Cool. Guys, keep your comments coming in. Absolutely loving the support. Amazing. I'm seeing new faces all the time. I'm seeing the regular SpursRelated as always. I think there's about, correct me if I'm wrong, 35, 40 of you watching across all platforms. If you haven't done so already, I can see there's 25 likes. Let's get that to 40, guys. Let's get the like smash, because it does help the channel grow. We are very close. I can touch the 1K. We're so close. I think 33 off now, guys. So keep it going, because honestly, once we get 1K, We're only in first gear at the moment. We're going to second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth gear here, guys. So please do smash the subscribe button and smash the thumbs up button. And it's time for Andre to bring us on to the next topic.
Perfect. So while we were doing all this, it looks like Manchester United might have they're trying to swoop in for Eriksen right now, even though he has said in a way that he is interested in staying in London. So what are your thoughts here?
If he goes to Man United, just very quickly, if he goes to Man United, I will be a bit crushed because I don't like that team. I'm sorry, I don't like Man United, and I love Eriksen. And although I'm not fully Eriksen in or fully Eriksen not to come, I wouldn't like to see him at Man United, that's for sure. But if I'm keeping it on a basis of, you know, Eriksen coming to Spurs, I'm still on the fence about him coming to Spurs. But I know Jack wanted to elaborate on something there. Sorry.
No, not a problem. I just feel like I've said it multiple times on this channel. I don't think there's a lot to lose. I think there's plenty to gain. And that is the reason why I would bring Christian Eriksen back. I feel like, I know some people say his set pieces are arguable, maybe not the best, but he is still good. For Brentford this season, set pieces, he's been fantastic. And I think that's something we're missing. I think his creativity in the midfield just gives us that extra option. We keep talking about squad depth. If we want to play a 4-1-2-1-2, he could play perfectly in that 10 with Son and Kane or even Kulusevski. I feel like I just think he'd be a great addition. It's just it's got that feel-good factor. Bringing him back, he's had his problems, but he's starting to show that world-class form he can produce. I would really like to see him back in the Spurs shirt, especially on a free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we look, the players that we were going to bring on a free transfer, we got them done before the window even opened. You would think that if Eriksen is going to be free, that we would have gotten it over the line already if we wanted him. Personally, I think we might be interested in him. I think it's Eriksen who's holding out to see what his options are. And I don't know if I like that.
I understand it. I totally understand it because he's had these problems with Levy in the past, and he's realised to play at a high level, and he's been ill, like he had a heart attack, which is terrible, and to play at that intensity under Antonio Conte, it's a lot of hard work. And is he now willing to just chill out, play his good football at Brentford, or does he want to push on and play Champions League football? So I think I understand why he wants to assess his options. He didn't leave Spurs on the best of terms, so it makes sense. But I personally would bring him in. I know what you mean, Andre, but I feel like he should take his time. It's only just been the start of the window, and he probably has a lot of offers coming in. So who wouldn't want to see what's on the table?
Right, and I think I saw somewhere that he actually said that Champions League football isn't his priority. I think he's just happy to be playing, happy to be back out there on the pitch. So yeah, I guess I can see it, but I am kind of in this mentality right now where if the player does not jump at the chance to join us, then maybe, you know, I feel like that'll be translated on the pitch. Like 100% won't be in there. You know what I mean?
I also disagree with that. I'm not trying to disagree, but I only disagree with it because to convince the best players, you're going to face so much competition that for like players like Inter Milan, we're talking, it's going to be hard to convince them. They're in a great league. They're playing for great teams. For them to, they're not always going to jump at the chance because Spurs are still not the highest caliber of teams. They're a great team, or becoming a very good team. But right now, we're still not Man City or Liverpool. So I think we need to understand that players are not always going to jump at the chance. Neither was Kulusevski at Spurs. At the start, I don't think he was too keen. And look at it now. As soon as they join, and Conte, they feel it and they realise why we're such a great club.
Well, also don't forget Perisic. He actually said that as soon as Conte came calling, he left. He was like, "Okay, decision's been made."
Was that Conte or Spurs? Sometimes that's the balance.
All right, you got me there.
It's a good debate. It's a good debate. I like it, Andre.
Okay, guys. Listen, there's a lot of comments about Eriksen. I want to ask a question in the chat, you know, to keep it interactive like we do in Spurs, here at Spurs Related. But the question I've got for you is Christian Eriksen to Tottenham on a free, yes or no? However, you've got to consider this. He's demanding... How much do you guys... Actually, I'm asking Jack and Andre now. How much do you guys think he would demand in wages? Because obviously, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think he took a massive wage cut to go to Brentford, didn't he? But at the same time, would he want a bit more wage now he's proved himself for 6 months again? I don't know. But maybe we keep it simple. Eriksen in, yes or no? Do you think
What do you think?
do you think his
Oh,
heads
sorry, I
with
was-
Tottenham? I'm not too sure. So Ayanami thinks 100k wages and Leighton thinks 200k. I don't think he'd want 200k. I think it.
200K.
I'm
How much do
thinking
you
it.
think, James? How
That's
much
at the
do you think?
level of Endon Baller
I
there.
would. I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give him a wage check bigger than, say, if you compare it to a player. I wouldn't give him a wage as high as, say, Kane or Son, but I would give him, something. Maybe, I mean, Lloris, I think it's on 120k a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe give him around that.
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
I was gonna say as no higher than 120K for me per week. Other than
And
that,
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of
and
money
that's
as
already
well.
a lot. And that'd be our way of paying respect to what he's done for us on all the previous seasons. But also, he needs to understand that we're not about to break our wage bill to bring him in either. We're building a squad here, not bringing in some Messi level player. No offense to him.
Yeah.
My only
yeah.
worry is that we might have to pay a premium because we're getting him on a free. And I feel like teams like Man United are willing to pay that premium because they have that money to spend. I don't think we should break our transfer, wage bill, sorry. But I do believe that he'd command probably about 120 to 150,000.
Wow. Yeah, incredible. Road
A
to
lot of money.
Legends football podcast saying he trains with Ten Hag as well before going to Brentford. I'd take him on a free. Johnny's a Man United fan. Bissouma for 25 mil is transfer of the window. Haaland and Nunes are great, but what a steal this is exactly. At Spurs, he'd have all his former mates, his former coach in Conte, and we'll have Champions League. It just makes sense, doesn't it, guys? I mean, I've still got to say, and I said it earlier a little bit, I still genuinely believe that there's something in this Eriksen deal that's not making me go, yes, I'd love him. I think I'd like him for squad depth. I don't think he's going to start every game. And I think he would put the whole, wanting to go to Inter behind him, where he left on a little bit of a bad note. But let's not forget, this guy is class. He proved it for 6 months at Brentford that he's still class. He was great on set pieces, like you said, Jack, which is probably maybe means he could have even improved them. He's still incredible on the ball. His vision is still incredible. My only concern is, are we going to spend a lot on wages just to get him back for the 2014, 15, 16 sake? Let's remember we're in 2022. I'm not saying he's a has-been player. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying let's not pay it over the odds on his wages just to get him back. But I do believe he'd love to come back to Spurs over Man United for Conte, for Champions League, and the fact he loves the club.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
You'd like to think so, but at the same time, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think it's going to... I reckon this one could play till... Because he's going to want a club, right? He's going to want a club. He's not going to want to join a club on deadline day if he's a free agent. He's going to want to be in a team by sort of, July, I reckon. I think this is going to progress soon. That's my early prediction.
Totally
I
agree.
think whether it's us or Man United or another club, I think we'll see something change very, very soon. I'm going to get through a few more comments and then we're going to move on. Amazing support again, guys. Like I said, the comments have been brilliant. 130k. This is our friend from South Africa. Leighton Evelyn saying money talks. If we unload into Belly, that's a big budget increase. Exactly, especially wages as well. We haven't replaced him since he left. Well, I would say we haven't replaced Moussa Dembele since he left, and bang, we got Bissouma. So maybe we can replace Eriksen with Eriksen. Zach saying, to be honest, I'll bring in McKennie over Eriksen. Do you guys agree? Different players. I love McKennie. I think he would be brilliant. But do we get both?
I like the debate, though. I can understand where he's coming from because at the end of the day, because we play a two in midfield, they are kind of two centre midfielders. So they are kind of competing for the same position. So I like the debate. And I think maybe McKennie would be the player people would tip for at the minute. I'm not sure. What would you guys quickly? I don't want to spend too much time on it.
I don't know. I think get both in for squad depth, but then you could say, well, we've got Bissouma, but then don't forget Winks is going, and then you ideally want five. I'd say 5 centre mids in your squad because you want one that's creative, you want one that's box to box, you want a couple of defensive players, and you want one guy that's good for squad rotation, right? So you've got Skip, you've got Bissouma, if it goes through, of course, Højbjerg, Bentancur. Then do you bring in an Eriksen? Obviously, and Ndombele's likely to go. Lo Celso's likely to go. There is going to be space.
It could be. You're right. There could be space for both of them, and that
Winks
would
is
be
going.
a serious midfield.
That's the thing we
Oh
haven't
my
talked
gosh,
about, right?
that'd be crazy midfield.
There's 3 centre mids going. If we decide to play 3 in centre mid for a lot of games, right? I would argue that you then need at least 2 backups, right? So we're getting rid of Lo Celso, we're getting rid of Ndombele, and we're getting rid of Harry Winks, apparently, and we should be, right? Then you're left with Bentancur, Højbjerg, and Skip, right? That's 3. If Bissouma comes in, that's 4. I would argue there's a space for a 5th. Is that McKennie? Is that Eriksen? Which balance do we need?
There might even be space for a 6th. Honestly,
I know.
McKennie and Eriksen, think about that, is serious squad depth. All of those players are good enough to fit in a starting 11. And that's what we need. That is seriously, thinking about it now, I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility.
Exactly.
But it also really depends. It also really depends on which formation we use the most, because if we do have options to play 3 in the middle, depending how many players we start getting for the forwards, we could also be playing with 2 and just have a lot of rotation at the top between Kulusevski and all those. But we'll get to those.
Exactly. Born to Lose saying no brainer. This one gives us a totally different option for no transfer fees. Sheer class. Yeah, we haven't really got a creative midfielder that's solely a creative midfielder. We don't. Bentancur kind of does a bit of both. Skip kind of sits back. Højbjerg skips back, and I know he's got a bit more of a creative game to him, but he's not a creative midfielder. We haven't got one.
That's why I've said it. There's not many people that command that. Like, if we're talking about James Maddison as an alternative, he'd command about £65 million, and you could argue Eriksen might have more quality.
Yeah. Chris is saying, hell yeah, James, why not get Eriksen in? Set piece specialist and Kane off free kicks, win 140k a week. Yeah, it might be worth it alone. Wow, the comments have been crazy. Apparently it's 2-0 Hungary. I cannot believe that. No way, is it? Is it actually?
That's why we're bringing you these streams, to save you from England.
Yeah, someone asked why we're streaming during the England game. Well, this is your answer here, right here. We're on the screen now. I want to see more of Harvey White. Can someone tell me about what happened to Bale? Nothing's happened with Bale. If anything comes, you can be sure we'll post about it. Kev saying, can we see Richarlison happens? Your views, please, lads. Quick one maybe from Jack.
Definitely could see it happening. I believe that it could be a Richarlison, Jesus, or Raphinha. If I was having to have a guess, I think it'll be one of those 3 we bring in. I think we'll bring in a close to world-class forward. I think we're going to bring in a serious player in the forward line.
Yep. Okay. Couple more comments. Varna saying, as a Chelsea fan, just prepare, guys. Bissouma will be your Bakayoko. By the way, Conte won the league with Chelsea, not your chicken-ass club. I mean, thanks so much for your support, mate. I really do appreciate you
and for subbing.
And for subbing, by the way. Really appreciate that. I hope whatever meal you had in that photo was decent. But listen, thanks for your support, mate. Really, really appreciate you coming in. And don't forget also, mate, to smash the thumbs up button as well while you're here. Simply Ace is saying Ndombele is likely to see his contract out in Burger King. Oh my goodness, it actually is 2-0. Wow, Chris, how you doing, mate?
Hat-trick, anyone?
Conte will be sacked by January. This guy is on one. I mean, I know you, Varna, I know you probably wanted Bissouma at Chelsea, mate, but let's be honest, you've just had a takeover. You know, you've got bigger fish to fry. Maybe get the fraud Lukaku at your club first and you can crack on. But anyway, Reese is saying Hungary are too good. Poch for England says Born to Lose could be a consideration. Overpriced for Richarlison. Hashtag Potter in. And remember when he plays in Lily White, Emoke says he'll look shy. Absolutely love it. And Sebelaski isn't even on the pitch, and they're still scoring more than England.
Lose are hungry.
Everyone's going nuts about England. I mean, I think loads of people have just turned us on because they've had enough of England. I'm not surprised. I'm so glad I'm not watching it. But let's move on to potentially our final topic. Maybe it's our second to last topic. We're absolutely loving it, guys. There's 50 of you now across all platforms. Absolutely love the support.
Love it.
So close to 1K. Smash the subscribe button like our friend Varna. Absolutely love this guy. Coming in and giving his insight on our, what was it, a chicken club or something. Absolutely love it, mate. We've had a better window than you. What can I say? But let's move on.
Perfect. So this is the last topic in terms of our incomings. And that would be the highly sought after Raphinha. Now, I know, Jack, you know what? I'm going to have you talk first because you seem very, very excited about this potential incoming?
Oh, honestly, this is nearly as exciting as Bissouma for me. Like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I think he's such a good player. I really like Richarlison, but I think this guy, in a year's time, could be a world-class player. Imagine adding him to Kane and Son. I think his numbers this season, I don't have the stats up with me. I'm sure Andre might, but he might not because we haven't had much time to prepare. But Raphinha, I really like. Every time I watch him play for Leeds, I think he's so exciting. I think he's good with both feet. He's creative. His skills are mesmerising. I feel like he's an upgrade on St. Maximin with the end product. I speak to a lot of Leeds fans when we played him earlier on in the season, and they say they don't see him being there any longer. They feel like he's got this world-class potential. He's just so good. I would love to see him at Spurs, and I think we would have faced a lot more competition if he went down, but I think there's a real chance we could bring him in with the Champions League football.
So I can actually read you out the stats here. From 36 matches, he got 11 goals, 3 assists. He's got a 70% pass completion, and shots on target, 20% of them were actually on target, and his contract would expire in 2 years. He is left-footed, 25, so right around that age where most players want that step up and they'll push for that move. So I personally think... I'm very
impressed with the stats, Andre. You sort of been right out there. I love it.
Well, I'm always prepared here, but 100% I think that he is a very class player. The fact that he shines in the Leeds team that was this season.
So struggling, wasn't they? It was bad. Until the last day of the season, we thought they were going to be... He's the main reason they stayed up. Him and Calvin Phillips, well, he was injured for most of the season, but without Bamford, Raphinha really had to pull through like Richarlison did for Everton and keep them up. But I think you've heard it here first. I think if Raphinha moves to a side in the Champions League, a higher club, I think he will absolutely tear it up. And playing with Kane and Son as well, I seriously believe Spurs might just have the best front three in the Premier League.
That would be a very crazy signing. Now, would he command a huge price tag? Possibly. So it really is one of those things where it's going to come down to the wire between the forwards that we've been linked with. Raphinha, we're being linked to Richarlison. We're going to have to pick one. So
I also don't want to discredit Kulusevski because he has been unbelievable recently, but we keep talking about this squad depth, and it's so needed as Liverpool and Man City and Chelsea have. Adding him to this squad of already fantastic forwards would be unbelievable because it looks like Bergwijn could go, Lucas could go, and we bring in players of this caliber to replace players that are not getting a look in the starting 11. Be amazing.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You start. It's almost we're almost reaching that point in the era of these players now where they're on the back end, and we have to start looking at the players who are going to come in and step up when the time comes. Just like sort of Liverpool's doing that right now. We kind of have to start looking for it. It's not really, we're not there yet, but 28, 29, I believe, for Son and for Kane. So it's not fully there yet, but it's good to have some players there who are ready to step up gradually. Kulusevski and Raphinha, or Kulusevski and Richarlison would be great players to come in and do that.
Does that lead us to our next debate? Would you say that leads us to our next debate? Or is James?
I was just going to say, I think Raphinha is more versatile than you think. He mainly plays off the wing for Leeds, but I reckon he could come on and do a job. And if you put him up front as well, maybe if you put him as a creative midfielder as well, I think Kulusevski we haven't seen as a striker yet. I feel like he could play as a striker as well, up with Kane, up with Son, depending on the situation with the injury list and the situation with the game. I mean, I just think this has so much potential. For me, I'm going to get the ball rolling on that talking point because I know you wanted to do it, Jack. But for me, I would rather take Raphinha over Richarlison. For attitude, although I think I've heard Raphinha has a bit of an attitude problem, but I would if I was at Leeds as well. And the second thing is, Richarlison, I just think he's a bit... I don't know, Jack, I know you're a massive fan of Richarlison, but for me, I think he's a bit clunky. I think Raphinha is more of a Tottenham player. I think he's got more flair about him. I think someone mentioned about Lamela. I think they were talking about Raphinha, but I think saying that he's a glorified Lamela.
He's got that feel factor, Raphinha, hasn't he? He gets you off your seat.
but he's a flair player, but he's very good. He scores a lot of goals, and I think he'd score a lot more goals for Tottenham, and he'd be creative. I think he's versatile. I think this guy would be amazing. Somebody else reckons 55 mil. Would you pay 55 mil?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
I would. We've got a
twice.
big budget this year. We've got to do it. Leighton's saying 100% over Richarlison. Kane's holding his ankle right now.
Yeah.
Don't give me that news, honestly. Bloody hell. Just as we were saying about injuries and strikers. Get Raphinha, Schick and Berardi. Schick has just signed a new deal at Leverkusen, so that's not happening. I think Leeds want about 55 mil. Is Schick at Leverkusen or is it Leipzig? No, it's Leverkusen, isn't it? I was right.
You're right.
If we link to Richarlison 61 mil, scrap that and pay for Raphinha. Exactly. I just think they were asking for way too much for Richarlison because he's their best player.
I still think it's a possibility. I think Raphinha, Jesus, and I think they're all Brazilian. All these players are Brazilian. Maybe we have to keep Emerson around just for good vibes. But Raphinha, Jesus, and Richarlison. We're talking about 3 serious players. And if we grab one of them, I'll be a very happy boy.
Yeah, what do you guys think about Alex's comment here saying, although I don't like Richarlison, I wouldn't mind him. He'd be like our Diego Costa when Conte won the league there. I think that's fair enough, actually.
Versatility, works hard. I like him. Do you like him? Sorry, Joe.
I was just going to say that I can see his comparison here because Diego Costa had that kind of like that tenacity, that pit bull kind of like aggressive style to him. Richarlison, that reminds me a little bit like that as well. And yeah, I can understand the comparison there. With about 125 mil and about 3 more players coming in, I don't mind spending on 55 mil on a great winger. Attackers are always more expensive, especially when it's Leeds' pretty much best player by a long stretch. The same as Richarlison, he's probably Everton's best player as well. Oh no, sorry. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is Everton's best player according to Andre.
That is not what I said.
Anyway, I'm just joking. Anyway, back on track. Louis said, evening boys, Bissouma is a crucial signing. Looking good for midfield options if we sign 1 or 2 more. Absolutely, Louis. Absolutely. No way is it 3-0.
Oh, man.
Seriously, though, quickly, do you think if we have lost 3-0 to Hungary, there's a chance we finish bottom of the league? Does Southgate go before the World Cup?
Oh my God!
I don't think
it's
so.
It's actually 3-0. It's actually 3-0 to Hungary. Oh my goodness! I'm so glad we did this stream.
My quick thing here on that. I think you play the World Cup with him, and if you guys don't make it far, that's it.
Also, just to add, Germany are beating Italy 5-0.
Wow!
Germany are beating Italy, who won the Euros 5-0.
That's the winner's curse.
Leighton saying he spent 20 quid on us to win the league. Got a feeling something special is going to happen. Wow. Leo, this is
I will say one thing about Richarlison here is that game where they secured not getting relegated. Richarlison looked like he was about to cough out a lung, and he was still bossing it in there. So by all means, a player with that kind of mentality to really stick it out there for the team, even if that costs you your legs.
I get your point, but it's more about the fact that he would cover ground, and that's what a player needs to do in a Conte system, is cover a lot of ground. You saw the difference between when the players were playing under Nuno and playing under Conte. We went from the least running team in the Premier League to the most distance covered, and that says a lot. You need someone that runs a lot. So I think it's a good point, Andre. Leo Ball saying Richarlison for 60 mil or Adama for 40. Who are you taking, lads? Leo, I would rather. That is one of your most interesting questions yet. I honestly don't know what to say. Adama, if someone's actually going to play Adama, pay 40 million for Adama Traore, I will try and move to Mars or something, because that is absolutely outrageous. Adama Traore isn't worth 10 million and Nando's. Like, he's just not. What do you guys think? Maybe it's a debate.
He's an end product under Conte. No way. A year ago, I think we were all buzzing to see this happen.
No way would I pay that for him there. Apparently,
100%.
Oh my God. Phone's just been sent off.
My
this is
word.
absolute carnage.
We're going to clip this. This is...
Oh my goodness.
Drama I would not have, though. Quickly go into that. No way.
Alex reckons
I
we're going
think
to win the FA
Adama
Cup.
for 40. Adama for 40 would be like the Iwobi signing that Everton did. Just
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Actually.
Alex thinks we can win the FA Cup and get to the knockout stage of the Champions League. People are saying Southgate isn't really good, and England going down to Group B. Oh my goodness, we've lost every game, haven't we? Or we drew one.
We've drawn 2.
Drew against Italy. No, we didn't. We lost to Germany. No, we did draw with Germany. You're right. Sorry, we drew 0-0 with 1-0 with Germany and 0-0 with Italy, and lost to Hungary. What an awful.
Twice. So we lost to Hungary twice.
Yeah, we have lost to Hungary twice, haven't we? Wowzers. 2 draws, 2 losses. That isn't good enough. I think Richarlison would bleed white and blue for us, which is why I wouldn't mind him. Yeah, Alex, good points here, mate. Really appreciate your comments. Really good insight. Your first comment was something about he's a BTEC Lamella or something, or a glorified Lamella. I don't know. Maybe laugh. Listen, guys, what is the final talking point, Andre?
Well, I mean, in terms of the outgoings, there's been a huge sort of list as to who is possibly going to go. It looks like Spurs are open to Bergwijn going, Emerson going, Reguilon going, Winks, Ndombele, Lo Celso, possibly putting Bryan Hill back on loan. Pape Mate Sarr looks like they're going to take a look at him, and then if he's not ready, he's going to be sent out on loan again. And Joe Rodon, I believe, also wants first team football. So that's around 9 to 10 players right there that will be heading out, whether it's permanently or not.
Wow. And just quickly, Jack, who for you out of the 4 in the picture goes? All of them?
All of them. No. I'm going to keep Hill around for one more season. I think the other 3 have had their time at Spurs, and I think they've all played their part in potentially helping Spurs get top 4 this season. But I'd say, what's the saying? Something out with the new or something like that. But new players, new project under Spurs.
In with the new, out with the old. Out with the old, in with the new.
That's the one.
I said out with the new.
No, he's trying to claw it back on the Calvert Lewin comment. Stop that, Andre. Stop that.
But yes, new project under Spurs. These players can go, and let's build on what's already been a fantastic start to the window.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, it went a bit off topic about England, but it is ridiculous, guys. Wow. I think that's covered everything, to be honest with you. Of course, maybe we'll bring you another video more about the outgoings. This was more about, obviously, Yves Bissouma. All but agreed. Joining Spurs. Hopefully, medical coming later this week, and the papers will be signed. And bang, he'll be a Tottenham Hotspur player. Hopefully, by the end of this week. Let's hope to see some announcement within the next, say, 7 days. I don't want this to slip through. You guys don't want this to slip through. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's believe that Paratici has got this one over the line and got this one done and created another absolutely juicy signing already, only on June the 14th. It's absolutely crazy, you know, how quickly things have improved in terms of the Tottenham transfer window. January is sort of the 29th, 30th. We were talking about not signing a player till the last day. And then suddenly we've already got, Fraser Forster, Ivan Perisic, now Bissouma, potentially Jed Spence. Things are juicy. It's going crazy. We could even sign 7 or 8 players this window. It's absolutely mental. Somebody saying I'll be shocked if we get Winks out of free. Sarr hasn't even won a Spurs shirt. Azzy. No, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. Maybe we'll do a little sort of players out review or players.
How much was Sarr? Does anyone know? Was it around 15 million euros? Because I don't think
it was 18.
18, yeah.
18.
All of them. Mark's saying all of them go. Don't let the door hit you on the arse on the way out. Winks, Bergwijn and Reguilon, hit the road, lads. But yeah, Bonsley saying great show as always. Thanks to the panel and all the chat. Thank you to you guys for sticking around. I know many of you have stayed throughout the whole hour, you know, and given up your time. I mean, I would probably do this over watching England, to be honest with you. So I guess maybe it's a bit of therapy, because I would certainly not have liked to watch that for 90 minutes. Bertie Hotspur saying Southgate out. Simply Ace, great show. But guys, like I said, that is all we've got time for today. Do expect us to be live throughout the week. Probably, a couple more videos coming this week. before you leave, smash a thumbs up, and more importantly, subscribe if you are new. We are 30 subscribers away from the 1,000 mark, and that changes everything.
Get your family to all subscribe. We're nearly there. Let's get that final push. We deserve it, guys, and you deserve it to make this channel bigger.
Exactly, yeah. Get your aunties, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whatever it is, even your dogs and cats. Maybe make your hamster a YouTube account. Just get us over that 1K mark, guys, and we will be absolutely buzzing. And like I said, in full 6th gear, 5th gear, whatever you want to call it, to bring you even more great content, great insights, and of course, great Spurs content. Thanks to my co-hosts, Jack Burford and Andre, for all the insights, stats, and graphics. And guys, we'll see you later on this week. Remember, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Bissouma!